If you are watching this video, you are likely in a situation that feels like a waking nightmare. You are watching someone you love, a partner, a child, a parent, a best friend, transform into a stranger. Maybe they are talking so fast you can't interrupt them. Maybe they haven't slept in 3 days but say they feel like God. Maybe they are spending money they don't have, or looking at you with eyes that don't seem to recognize your relationship. You feel scared, you feel exhausted. And if we are being honest, you might feel angry. You feel like you are being held hostage by their energy. If you are currently walking on eggshells, wondering if you should call a doctor, the police, or just hide in your room, you are in the right place. In this video, I am going to walk you through a calm, safety-first protocol for navigating a loved one's manic episode. We are going to cover the biology of why they can't just calm down, the specific communication technique called the sidestep that stops arguments before they start, and the hard but necessary choices regarding hospitalization and safety. By the end of this video, you will have a script for the hardest conversations and a plan that protects you as much as it protects them. I'm Clara, your guide at Bipolar Clarity. Let's take a deep breath. You are not alone in this room. Before we begin, I need to remind you that I am a passionate educator and an advocate, but I am not a doctor. This video is for educational purposes and is not medical advice. If you or your loved one are in immediate danger, please stop this video and contact your local emergency services right now. Let's start with the why. Why is your loved one acting this way? And why does it feel like they are doing it to you? When someone is in a manic state, the frontal lobe of their brain, the part responsible for logic, judgment, impulse control, and empathy, essentially goes offline. At the same time, the limbic system, the part responsible for drive, emotion, and survival, is flooded with dopamine and adrenaline. Think of it like a car. The gas pedal is floored. The engine is roaring at 10,000 RPMs. But the steering wheel has been disconnected and the brake lines have been cut. When you try to use logic, when you say, "We can't afford that car," or "You need to sleep," you're talking to the brakes, but the brakes are not connected. This is why arguing doesn't work. It isn't that they won't listen. It is that they biologically cannot process the inhibition signal. There is a specific medical term you need to know: Anosognosia. This translates to lack of insight. In about 40 to 50% of manic cases, the part of the brain that allows a person to have self-awareness is impaired. They truly, genuinely do not believe they are sick. To them, they feel fantastic. They feel enlightened. And you, the person trying to stop them, look like the enemy who is trying to ruin their joy. Understanding anosognosia changes your perspective from they are being stubborn to they are neurologically unable to see the mirror. Now that we understand the terrain, let's build your strategy. We are going to use a 3-phase approach: the anchor, the deflection, and the guardrails. Phase 1, the anchor, that's you. You cannot de-escalate a manic person if you are escalated yourself. Mania is contagious. It carries a high-frequency energy. When you are around it, your heart rate goes up. Your voice gets higher. You start talking faster to match them. If you join their chaos, the situation explodes. Your first job is to become a human pace car. Before you walk into the room with them, do a doorway check. Stop at the door. Take one massive breath. Drop your shoulders. Lower the pitch of your voice. When you speak to them, speak 20% slower than normal. Speak quietly. You are trying to act as a tuning fork. If you vibrate at a calm frequency, their nervous system might, just might, resonate with yours and come down a notch. Also, check your own basic needs. Have you eaten? Have you slept? Caregiver burnout is real. If you are running on empty, you will snap. It is not selfish to take a 10-minute break to eat a sandwich or call a friend to vent. You need oxygen to be helpful. Phase 2. The deflection, communication. How do you talk to someone who is delusional or grandiose without lying to them and without starting a fight? You use a technique I call the sidestep. Here is the scenario. Your loved one says, "I am going to quit my job today and start a tech company because I have solved the energy crisis." Your instinct is to say, "That is crazy. You don't know anything about energy. We have a mortgage." If you say that, you become the enemy. They will fight you. Instead, use the sidestep. You do not argue with the fact, the tech company. You connect with the emotion, the excitement. You say, "I can hear how much energy you have right now. You sound incredibly passionate about this idea." You are validating the feeling. You are not validating the plan. Then you pivot to a delay. "I want to hear more about this, but I am really tired right now, and I can't give it the attention it deserves. Can we write it down and talk about it tomorrow morning after breakfast?" You are kicking the can down the road. In mania, attention spans are short. If you can delay the action, the impulse often passes or shifts to something else. Here is another script for when they are angry or irritable. Irritability is the dark side of mania. They might be yelling at you. Do not yell back. Say this, "I care about you and I want to hear you. But I cannot engage when the volume is this loud because it scares me. I am going to step into the other room for 15 minutes, and then we can try again." This sets a boundary. You are not abandoning them. You are pausing the interaction for safety. Phase 3, the guardrails, safety. Mania involves risk, spending, driving, sex, substances. You need to set up physical barriers to danger. Ideally, you do this before an episode, but if you're in it now, you have to act fast. Guardrail 1, money. If they are spending recklessly, do not try to reason with them. Call the bank, put a freeze on the credit cards. If you share accounts, move the bulk of the money to a separate account they cannot access. Give them a prepaid card with a small amount on it so they don't feel trapped, but protect the rent money. You might feel guilty, like you are treating them like a child. You aren't. You are protecting their future self from bankruptcy. Guardrail 2, the keys. Driving while manic is statistically as dangerous as driving drunk. Reaction times are off, risk assessment is 0, and speed is high. If they are manic, they should not drive. "I am not comfortable with you driving right now because your energy is running so hot. I can drive you, or we can get an Uber." If they refuse and try to leave, you may have to hide the keys. This is an extreme measure, but if it is a choice between an argument and a car crash, choose the argument. Guardrail 3, the environment. Mania feeds on stimulation. If the house is loud, the TV is on, the lights are bright, and kids are screaming, the mania will get worse. Manually lower the stimulation. Dim the lights in the evening, turn off the TV, play low, calm music or have silence. Create a low-stim bunker. Sometimes, just sitting with them in a dark, quiet room can lower their agitation level. Now, we need to talk about the hardest part, the hospitalization question. When do you call for help? Many families wait too long because they are afraid of betraying their loved one's trust. They worry their loved one will never forgive them for calling 911 or taking them to the hospital. Here is the reality. It is better to have them angry at you and alive than happy with you and dead. You need to call for professional help if 1. They have not slept for 3+ days. At this point, the brain begins to break down. Psychosis is imminent. They need medical sedation to sleep. 2. They are psychotic. If they are seeing things, hearing voices, or believe they are a religious figure or a government agent, they are not in reality. They need a hospital. 3. They are a danger to self or others. This doesn't just mean suicide. It means driving 100 miles an hour. It means walking into traffic. It means threatening you physically. If you have to call 911 or your local emergency number, ask for a CIT officer, Crisis Intervention Team. These are police officers trained in mental health. Tell the dispatcher, "This is a mental health crisis. My loved one has bipolar disorder and is in a manic episode. They are not a criminal. They are sick." If you have to take them to the hospital, use this script. "I love you too much to watch you suffer like this. I am not qualified to keep you safe right now. We need doctors to help us get through this week." Use the word we. Make it a team effort. We need help. The imminent danger distinction. There is a difference between making bad choices and imminent danger. Spending $500 on clothes is a bad choice. It is not an emergency. Spending $50,000 on a boat you don't need is an emergency. Walking around the neighborhood at 2 a.m. is a bad choice. Walking on the highway is an emergency. Save your nuclear option, calling the police hospital for the imminent danger. For the bad choices, use the sidestep and guardrails. Let's talk about a specific tool called the LEAP method. This was developed by Dr. Xavier Amador for people with anosognosia, lack of insight. It stands for listen, empathize, agree, partner. Listen. Listen to their delusion without judging. Let them tell you about their plan to save the world. Empathize. It must feel amazing to have that kind of mission. Agree. Find one tiny thing you can agree on. Maybe they admit they are a little tired. Agree with that. Yes, even superheroes need to rest to be effective. Partner. Partner on that one goal. Let's get some sleep tonight so you can be fresh for your mission tomorrow. You are using their own logic to guide them towards safety. I want to do a quick pattern interrupt regarding your own emotions. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to grieve the person they were before the episode. You are allowed to hate the illness while loving the person. When the episode is over, you will need to process this trauma. But right now, you are in crisis management. Put your feelings in a box, label it later, and focus on the safety plan. What happens when the mania breaks? The crash will come. What goes up must come down. When they come down, they will likely fall into a depression. They will also feel the shame hangover. They will remember the things they said. They will see the bank account. They will be humiliated. Your job in that moment is not to say, "I told you so." Your job is to say, "You were sick. We survived it. Now we clean up." This leads to the post-episode contract. You cannot negotiate with a manic person, but you can negotiate with a stable person. When they are stable, months from now, you need to sit down and write a contract. When I am well, I give you permission to take my keys if I stop sleeping for 3 days. When I am well, I agree that if you see X behavior, we call the doctor. Get this in writing, so the next time it happens, you aren't the bad guy taking the keys. You are just executing the contract they signed. Let's do a micro recap of your action plan. First, ground yourself. Be the pace car. Slow down your voice. Second, the sidestep. Validate the emotion. Delay the action. Do not argue with delusions. Third, the guardrails. Freeze the money, hide the keys, reduce the noise. Fourth, the red line. If sleep is gone or danger is present, call for help. Prioritize safety over their approval. Here is your tiny step for right now. Go to your phone. Put the number for their psychiatrist and the local crisis line in your favorites. If you have to make that call, you don't want to be fumbling for the number. Have it ready. I know navigating a crisis like this feels overwhelming. If you want ongoing, quiet support and a weekly reminder of simple anchors to protect your own energy, I send out a newsletter with one small, doable step each week. It's a free resource designed to help you, the supporter, stay steady. You can find the link to join us in the description. Supporting someone in mania is one of the hardest things a human being can do. It requires the patience of a saint and the tactical thinking of a general. But you can do this. You are their anchor. Even if they are pulling against the chain right now, the fact that you are holding on matters. If this video helped you feel a little less helpless, please subscribe. We are building a library of practical tools for families and individuals navigating this condition. For your next step, I highly recommend watching the video appearing on your screen right now. It is called Hypomania versus Mania, where the line really is. It will help you understand the specific signs of the energy state your loved one is experiencing, so you can gauge the safety risk more accurately. Thanks for watching, and remember, you are choosing safety, and that is an act of love.